Hello, and welcome back to another episode of One of Us is Talking. Today, I am here with a very exciting group of young filmmakers and editors. They are called STACE Productions, and they have an amazing film called Pseudea, which we're going to talk about today. But do you guys want to each introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. I can go first. My name is Chelsea, and I was the writer and producer for this film.
Hi, I'm Ethel. I co-wrote the script with Chelsea, and I'm also a producer and an assistant director.
Hi, I'm Ani. I was the director and one of the producers for the film.
Me next. Hi, I'm Tyler. I was the DP, one of the producers, and I was a colorist for the film.
And hi, I'm Sam. I was the editor and I was the script supervisor.
Oh, wow. So that's so exciting. And what's so exciting about this group is we all went to college together. And this project, it was actually your capping project, right? For the end of the year or like the end of the semester.
Yeah, end of the semester for senior year.
That's amazing. Okay. So, I mean, Suda, when I watched it, I couldn't believe that it was just a student film. Even the plot was so complex and well thought out. So can one of you summarize Suda for those who have not seen it yet, but I'm going to make sure they all do after they watch this interview.
Yeah, I can do that. So Suda is a sci-fi drama. It follows the story of Marty, an unemployed woman who's looking for a job. She gets hired at this agency called Mimic, which people can hire to like have someone impersonate them by morphing into them for anything that they don't want to do, like an event or something like that. And on Marty's first assignment, she ends up finding this unexpected connection with the girlfriend of the man that she's been assigned to impersonate.
I thought that was so interesting. And your actors were phenomenal. Seeing them, I don't know, the one where Marty turned into the boyfriend, like just the body language was so perfect. Like it still felt like it was actually Marty, but like the same character we started off with. And I mean, we kind of talked how this was a capping project, but who came up with this concept of the film and how did it come to be?
So that was me. I came up with a concept. Essentially, we all got together as a group at the beginning of our capping class. We all knew we wanted to work together and see what each person was about. And at our first meeting, we sat down, we all gave out these pitches. And we all had really great pitches. We had great stories, but like I feel like it wasn't connecting for all of us. It wasn't something that like each person in the group would have been interested in. So I remember just sitting down one night and watching an episode of a show called Nathan For You. I am not sure if you are familiar with that show.
I'm not.
It is certainly not a drama. It is certainly not anything to be taken seriously for a show, but essentially it was an episode called Hero, I think, in like the third season, where he impersonates a man to like make this guy seem like the town hero, and like he like gets into this whole bodysuit and like does this, and it's all a comedy. It's all, supposed to be taken lightly. And I remember FaceTiming Sam after watching it and just being like, what if we made this thing where like it's a sci-fi and we all just like, it was a world where you could like impersonate other people and like hire someone to like pretend to be you. And Sam was with Tyler and was like, Tyler, listen to this idea that Chelsea just had. So after that, we like came into class the next day and all started working on it and started, each person started contributing to the idea, which was super nice because then it really started to feel like, okay, this is all of our idea. We all got to contribute to like the character, the storyline, the plot, everything that was going on. So it was really nice to be able to work on that with everyone.
That's such a great story, especially because you built up this storyline and you went into your first day of capping and you didn't even have this idea yet.
No.
It wasn't even something that you built up like going into senior year. Oh my goodness. So
a lot of work for getting that all together. I think me and Ethel wrote it in like 3 weeks, something like that, 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, it was
Really
not
like
very short amount of time.
lots of little coffee dates for me and Ethel.
My
Little workshop.
goodness. That's crazy. Well, I mean, congratulations. That's so exciting. And so you each played a role, and we kind of went over this, like what each person did, but do you want to go a little bit deeper into each role that you played in the production of the short film? And you can go in any order that you want.
Miss Director, do you wanna lead with that?
Sure. So I directed this film, and it was a lot of communication with Ethel and Chelsea specifically as the writers, meeting with them. And then we also had group meetings as well, since we were all producers on it, to kind of talk about what direction we wanted the story to go in. And yeah, just a lot of conversation and teamwork.
Yeah. I mean, it must have taken a lot of work to all come together with it, because the world that you guys built up felt so real. Like it almost feels like Mimic is a real company. And you all had the logo so perfectly. Like I can only imagine all the work that went into this, and especially directing such a film with such high stakes. I mean, it must have been not an easy job, and like with all the actors and everything.
I think we had just like honestly such a wonderful group of people that each had such an amazing skill set. I really think we just got the best of the best for this to work on it. I mean, like Sam is like a phenomenal editor. Tyler helped design the logo. Like each person did such a great job with the jobs that they had and the tasks that they were given. And like their skill sets were just so amazing for each of that.
I was just gonna say, I think I knew Tyler, Chelsea, and Sam, Ani and Ethel. I'm not sure if I really ever met you too much, but knowing this group, I could see like how the film came out the way it did, because you were all always so prominent in the media department, and you were always so good at what you did. So, I mean, I think you guys all coming together was such a power group. And I think it's a huge testament to who you all are as independent and group workers.
Thank you.
No problem. And I mean, so Sam, you did some of the editing, which I know did win an award. So what was
Yes.
that like?
Yeah, the editing was definitely a challenge. When we decided on doing a sci-fi film, I immediately had my work cut out for me, because I was like, oh no, I've never done VFX like this before. This is crazy. So I did a lot of research. I watched a lot of YouTube videos, and thankfully, I work at the media center when I was at Marist, and I confided in Dan Meyerson, who works there, and he is a pro at After Effects, and he really was such a great mentor to me while I was working on this film. So between the mentorship and the YouTube and everything, did a lot of work on the VFX and the editing. Yeah, it was a lot of work, but it was really fun, and it was just such an amazing experience.
That's so you wouldn't even know that you needed to turn to YouTube, because it all just flows so seamlessly. Like I was watching and I'm like, oh my goodness, how did they put this together? And then Tyler, with you as the DP, like what was your process with that? How did you kind of get that with the group and put it into the film?
Yeah, so I met with Ani quite a few times to discuss like the look of the film and like how we wanted to shoot it. We looked at specifically for like the color palette of the film. Like I asked Ani to like pick out some like examples of films that she wanted it to look like. And so I was going off of that. But yeah, like I picked up so many like new skills while working on this film. I did things that I never thought I was gonna have to do, because I was coming in, I was like, all right, I'm the director of photography. This is where I'm gonna do. But then I ended up, so like Chelsea mentioned, I designed the logo. I did the animation for the logo too, and I've never animated like a logo before, so that was my first time doing that. The chip, the actual chip, the Mimic chip, was something I had to I don't know if you're familiar with Blender. I had literally had to learn Blender. I took like 4 hours one night, like late at night, just to learn how to use Blender to design this chip that we 3D printed.
Oh,
And yeah, because originally we were going to use like an SD card, but
mhm.
but then I was like, I feel like people are going to know that that's an SD card, so we all, you know, decided to use something that was like, you know, unique and something no one's seen before.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So a lot went into this. That's absolutely insane. And I think, again, it does reflect, but learning how to use a whole new, all of you have really learned how to use Blender and editing and After Effects. That's insane. And Ethel, you did some of the writing. So what was that like, kind of working with Chelsea? And like, did you learn any new skills? Did you build on any new skills?
It was so fun just like having a writing partner because I'm so used to just, writing myself. And just having Chelsea, who is so awesome and amazing and talented, to just like bounce ideas off of and kind of take her concept and like, what if we did this? What if this person did this? And just kind of like go from there and like build the structure and develop the story together. So it was so fun to like collaborate with her.
Yeah, that's so cool. And it sounds so great that everyone got along and you were all able to bounce these ideas off. And I mean, this film has probably surpassed so much of what you thought it would. I mean, even just for Marist, you guys as a school represented it so well. But going into the film, did you have any goals you wanted to achieve with it?
One of the main things that was super important to all of us was that we didn't want it to feel like, no offense to student films, but we didn't want it to feel like it was made by students and on a campus. We at first we were limited to our campus, if I'm remembering this correctly. Like because of COVID restrictions, they weren't giving us too many options. But then shortly after we started our pre-production, they opened things up and said, okay, you can kind of venture out if you want. And so we took that as an opportunity to really make this as like good as we possibly could together. So that was like one of the main things.
Oh,
Yeah.
I did not realize that COVID was also a challenge for you. So not only were you making this film, and again, you didn't want it to look like a student film, which is so hard to do because you are students, but it did not look like a student film. And you also had COVID that you were dealing with. So that was a little bit of because when it was my capping year, I wrote a script. So I wasn't aware of like the limitations, but I can only imagine making this film and only at first being able to have it located in one place. That must have been a little bit scary.
Certainly, COVID is always a factor nowadays. Something you have to learn to work around.
It's true. It's so crazy. And I mean, you made this film while you were still students, full-time students in college. So what was a typical day on set like, and how did you balance this filming with other schoolwork?
Typical day on set was really fun. Everyone was always in such a good mood, even though, we had some stressful moments, of course, as comes with filming. But it was always productive. We had really good snacks. Yeah, some early mornings, some long days. But overall it was very fun. And I would say like balancing schoolwork, it was definitely difficult to do at first, but I think at the end of the day, it just really came down to like managing our time and learning to prioritize what we needed to and just kind of working together as a team to make it work.
Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine getting all this work done and then having to go film in these long days. And not only did you have to worry about filming, but you also had to cast actors in this film. And I thought even they were phenomenal. But what was this casting process like? Like, how did you find these people? And what did you do to have them audition?
Casting was certainly a journey because, it doesn't sound like the most glamorous thing to do. I mean, essentially, we were putting out ads and just saying, like, can you work for free? Take the time out of your day to go on this student film with people who just have very little experience with running a set and are just trying to make something great to put on, put out to the world. So essentially we started out with just like using Backstage and just putting out a little ad on there. And believe it or not a lot of people want to work for free, and which is super, super understandable. So at first we weren't getting like a lot of hits, and I think we only had like 4 people sign up for auditions, and we were like, well, this is what we got, and we're gonna make the best out of it, because one of the things we really wanted to do was to avoid using student actors. There's nothing against student actors, we just didn't want it to be a thing where we go up to our friends and are like, can you act in our film for us? So after the first round, that's actually where we found our lead male actor, Jack Schrader, who was amazing. And I think from the moment we saw him, we were like, he is gonna be in it. He is the person we wanted for this. So originally we only had like 2 actors casted, which was very stressful. So we ended up having to reach out to like a local talent person in the area who was so helpful, and she got a bunch of people to come and like audition for us and sign up, which is where we found our beautiful, beautiful actress Brooke, who played Dylan. And again, it was one of those things where from her audition we were like, that's it. Like we were like, we're in love with her, absolutely. And then right before filming, unfortunately, we had a little bit of scheduling conflicts with one of the cast members, which is how we found our Marty, because it was a few days before we were about to film, and we kind of went into this like panic mode where, like things happen in film, it's always changing. There are things you just got to work with like on the fly. And I do remember I saw our friend Ronnie act in a short film, I think the semester before. And I remember thinking, Ronnie did a really, really great job in that. We're in a panic mode. I'm just going to go up to Ronnie in art class and ask if they would be willing to act in our film on a last minute. And they sent in an audition tape, and they were amazing. And truthfully, I think that's just how it was meant to happen, because I think we couldn't have asked for a better Marty, honestly.
I was just gonna say, because I recognized Ronnie. I had known them a little bit at Marist, and I was like, their performance is phenomenal. So hearing that they didn't even like originally audition, and that's crazy. Okay, because the actors, they all work so well together.
Yeah, we got super lucky. I think that the casting process turned out better, honestly better than I could have ever imagined it being. I loved every single person we casted. They were all just such a joy to work with. I think we did a great job on that.
So cool. And I mean, that was one challenge certainly that you just mentioned, but did you have any other big challenges with creating this short film, and how did you overcome them?
Any other challenges? We had a lot of things that we had to work with. I'm trying to like think of things off the top of my head. I know locations was like super challenging, trying to find like anyone who was willing to like lend us the front of their home on like a random weekend. We knew we wanted something more, I don't even know what the word we were looking for was, but something more homey, something more adult looking than just like one of the frat houses that was like, near my campus, or like some townhouse on campus. That was that was probably, I think, for me, the most difficult thing with locations was trying to find that specific one.
Yeah. And another thing, no, I'm sorry. Another thing that was like a really big challenge in general was that we only filmed for 4 days, with like one day that we did reshoots. So every single day was like jam-packed from the morning to like as late as we needed to go. So that was very challenging and a little tiring, but it was really fun and it was absolutely worth it. And another thing was just like balancing that with school was just, having like 3 other classes that we were each taking, and some of us were also doing internships at the same time. And school like jobs on campus too. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So all of that stuff, like balancing that along with doing this film was definitely a challenge for sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say the time. limit. We did not have a lot of time to finish this film, like, because we did we wanted to submit for Marist's Silver Fox Awards, which is the film festival that Jeff Bass puts on every year. And I remember there were for Sam and me, there was a lot of late nights for us, like putting the film together, trying to get it finished in time in the
Well,
in
and
the
and also, like, you and Sam can comment on this, because not only with editing did we have one version where it was like our full version, full script, 20 minutes, whatever. For Silver Fox, it was a 10-minute limit. So Sam and Tyler, like, I remember all of us had to sit with them and be like, what are we going to cut? How can we make this 10 minutes? How can we fit this into a time, like the time span that we need? So we have two versions
Oh my
Yeah.
of this film that were done in very short period of time because of our wonderful editors who like worked tirelessly to like get it in. So that was another thing. I was super grateful to have these people be editing because they're just phenomenal.
It was so hard to cut things. But we literally like chopped the film in half. Like we took
there's
a
literally a
20-minute
half
film
version
and turned
of
it to
our
10.
film.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, and just finding like creative ways for the story to still make sense when it's 10 minutes shorter, and figuring out like after we were done filming where we didn't have time to reshoot anything, how to make like continuity work and the story to make sense 10 minutes shorter.
The more I'm learning about this film, the more of your talent that's like shining through, because it just seems like nothing was almost going your way at first. You had to cut it into 10 minutes, you had to worry about COVID, and you still like produce this phenomenal film. So I mean, the talent that's sitting in front of me right now, you guys are all amazing. So I just feel like I had to say that, because hearing this story,
I'd like to add one more thing in on topic of that, was that the five of us were this was like our crew, and then we had help from people like Chris and Matt and Daniela and so many other people too to help, but like it was the five of us were the ones that were really running the ship, and everyone took on multiple roles, which is something that is so like non-conventional in a film. Like, just wanted to also include that too, with also the given amount of time. It was pretty awesome how everything came together. Yeah.
Skeleton crew to the max, honestly.
I mean, and everything that came together obviously was worth it in the end. So is it possible for you guys to list all of the awards the short film won?
Can do our best. We submitted to a number of different festivals. Some were online. Most of them were online, actually. I'm not sure if it was because that's how they run their festivals or because of COVID restrictions. But we won a few different awards, including Best Student Short, Best Student Female Director, Best Editing, Best Cinematography, and then Best Actors from Independent Shorts Awards, the Silver Fox Awards, Top Short Film Festival, Lake Placid Film Festival, which we had an in-person screening of. That was very cool. That was like our debut. And then Venice Short Film Festival, we had nomination from them, and Montreal Independent Film Festival, also nomination for Best Student Film. And then we had we were selected from Holly Shorts Film Festival for their monthly screenings to have our full version of our films screened at the Chinese Theater in Los Angeles, which Ethel and I attended. And that was very, very cool to see that on the big screen in the iconic Chinese Theater. So those were, I think I got everything. If
did we also get something for the writing and for the VFX for Top Shorts? I'm not sure if you said that.
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot. There were like
an
a
honorable
list
mention
of things
Sam,
going on. Best story, best drama screenplay, best visual effects. And then also honorable mention for visual effects for independent shorts. So
There's a
was
lot.
way of saying
Oh,
this. We did well.
Guys, congratulations hearing this. Oh my goodness. It wasn't just like 1 or 2 awards, which still would be phenomenal, but there's like, I don't even like 6 or 7. That is, you guys made an outstanding film, and I'm so glad that you were able to see this work like that reflected to you. I mean, how did you find out about these festivals? Just research, or did professors recommend you?
Professor Bass, he recommended Lake Placid Film Festival to us, and then of course the Silver Fox Awards. And then Professor Skapansky also gave some recommendations of where to send to, and then we kind of just rolled with anything else that came after. And I think this was a good learning experience for film festivals, because there are particular festivals to send to that are good for, like, this kind of story that we had. But yeah, so it was all just a good learning experience.
That's so cool. And I mean, I have to ask, because this film has done so well and it was so captivating. Do you have any plans to take this short film a step further and develop the story more, or even enter it into more festivals?
I've definitely like thought of where Marty is in the world nowadays. It's definitely something, like an idea that I toy with, especially when I'm in like a writer's block scenario where I'm like trying to write something else and I'd be like, oh, well, I do have this story, and just sort of think about the different ways it can branch off. Ethel and I, obviously with my writing partner, we've been talking, and there's things that we think about. There's things we talk about.
That's
but
so
nothing's set in
exciting.
stone.
Well,
Yeah, I think just even like because the world is so like established, like even when we were talking about like the story and the world that it lives in, there were just so many questions we had, and like you can just keep going and going and going with like different parts of the world and like the company and the technology. And so I think that's really exciting, and there's a lot to explore that in a 20-minute film you just don't get to.
Mhm.
well, when you have more of it, if anything ever comes of it, and I can't wait to see how far it goes. I better be your first press outlet, because I would love to talk to you guys again. You guys
Absolutely.
are phenomenal. And I mean, you did all of this in college, which is such a challenging time. So many of us go into college not even knowing what we want to do exactly. What advice do you have for those who are still maybe in high school and want to study film and television production in college?
I think my best advice would be to just get involved in as much as you possibly can. Like, do what you want to do, make those films, join all those clubs, and no idea is too big. Like, this came out, like, I think better than we all could have ever imagined. It seemed very ambitious when we started, and we just stuck with it, and we put as much as we possibly could into it, and it was very rewarding. So do what makes you happy, make those films, and just like keep working at it, and you'll get to where you want to be.
Yeah, that's great advice.
I would
And
also say like just like take every phone call, take every opportunity. It's a lot of work. The industry is, just from my brief few moments entering into it, it's a lot, and you're gonna have to work really hard, but just still try to find the little joyous moments in every day, and just remember why it is that you love film and why you wanted to work in this in the first place, and just never forget that. Because you can make things like
Yeah.
this one day.
Yeah, I mean, I feel
I
like
would
we're
say like,
proof.
oh,
Oh, sorry, I
you
was
go.
gonna say, I was
You go,
like,
Tyler.
okay, I was gonna say, like, we're proof that it is possible to like make films like this with a very small budget. Like, we did not have that much, we did not have a lot of money to work with. So, and YouTube is a big resource. There's so many things, like Sam mentioned. YouTube became very helpful for us. We learned a lot of things. And we all have cameras on our phones now. So if you can come up with like a neat small idea that works with a limited setting, you can make a really great film. So don't be afraid to put yourself out there, because with social media now, anything can blow up these days. It's so easy to share things with a lot, and get a lot of eyes on them.
So true, so true. That's great advice. Thank you. And then Ethel, did you have?
Yeah, just bouncing off of that, and not being afraid to put yourself out there. Like in high school, I came from like a theater background. I went to a performing arts high school. So coming into college, I knew that I kind of wanted to like go behind the scenes and get more involved in production, which was like entirely new to me. And then, at the end of my senior year to be involved with this, I think, I learned so much, and you have such an opportunity to learn from peers and take every opportunity as a learning one.
Yeah, no, that's so true. I mean, all of you, that was such great advice, especially navigating. And I don't know, Ani, did you have anything to add?
For sure. I mean, everyone kind of summed it all up pretty nicely. Another thing was I really appreciated Marist and studying film there, because it was a liberal arts college education, and it allowed for me to study other topics that weren't only film related, and kind of applying those like that knowledge from those classes to creating new stories was really great. So that's also something to consider for college, is like what you want to get out of your education.
Yeah. Oh no, all of that was such great advice. And I mean, again, if anyone is listening to this and you're wondering about college, these are the people you should be listening to, because as Tyler said, they're proof that anything you make can just turn into something so big. So congratulations again, guys. That's so exciting.
Thank
you
you.
so much.
And here at One of Us is Talking, I love to do hot seat questions. So are you guys down?
Yeah.
I'm down.
Yes.
Down.
Fire away.
Okay. So I feel like I don't even know if you'll have an answer for this one, because everyone was so coordinated, it seems, but most likely to be late to set, group meetings, or class.
Honestly, we all were super
I was
on.
gonna say I read that and then
You're
I
very punctual.
If we were late, it was only by like 5 or 10 minutes. And then like we would always let each other know, like, oh, this is happening, we're gonna be late. So I don't think there was any one person who was most likely to show up late.
was gonna say, after like I spoke with you guys, I'm like, if anything, they were probably all fighting to be there early. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way they were late.
Waiting for the best parking spot in the morning. Yeah.
Most likely to make everyone laugh on set.
I thought for me always makes me giggle, but that's just because I think it's really funny.
Ethel had a couple funny moments on
Yeah.
set, like when she
Oh.
was pretty much
Guys, thank you.
when I keep thinking of like Ethel was like our human like hanger for one scene, because Brooke had to like we didn't so when Brooke is leaving like her apartment in the film, she like grabs her purse from something. There wasn't actually a hook there. That was just Ethel like holding it.
Yeah.
All me.
Chris and Matt were a
That's
hoot. Chris and Matt were a hoot. They were so funny.
Oh,
They
yeah,
were
no,
yes,
wait.
they were
Yes.
so funny. Oh my gosh.
That was Ronnie too, though. Everyone's really funny on it.
Everyone was so
Funny too.
funny. We're all just making each other laugh.
Giggle.
What about a most embarrassing moment on set?
We were kind of thinking about this before we got on the call. And I don't know if there's an embarrassing moment, unless you guys can think of something, but something that was really funny that happened was we filmed in April, and it just out of nowhere in one of our outdoor scenes started hailing. And we had to like get out of there really quickly because it would mess up the scene, and also like it was painful. So
Oh my gosh. That Poughkeepsie
Yeah.
weather.
Yes.
Yeah, that Poughkeepsie weather, It's like bipolar. There was no reason for it to be like hailing at
Oh,
that
it was
point. Wasn't it
literally
like
like
April?
warm that day. Like
Yeah.
there was nothing that should. There was like sunny at one point, and then I think it literally went away, and then the weather was fine. Like after that, it was just like it was like the one time we had to film outside, and like
Yeah.
it decided to
Of
hail.
course.
Yeah. There's another moment too. I think this was the same day when we were filming in the ice skating
Yeah.
rink. Towards the end of that shoot, we were like kind of we were running out of time there because we only had a like set amount of time to film there.
Mhm.
And we forgot that we had to record room tone. And for those that don't know what room tone is, it's basically like you just record like you basically like record like silence. Yeah, that's where I was looking. You record silence because every room has like a different like sound, like natural sound to it. So it helps with editing when you're editing with audio tracks. And there was a hockey team that showed up because they were gonna play hockey, and they were there was I had to walk over to them and tell them to like be quiet. And I hated doing that. I was like I know you're supposed to be here. Like we're the ones that are taking up your time, but could you please like for
30
like
seconds.
30 seconds. And there was this one guy who was like really annoyed, and I was like, oh God. And like his friends were trying to like calm him down. He's like, oh, this is bullshit. Like we're supposed to be here. So yeah, that was a little embarrassing.
Yeah. That's
I
like
got volunteered to be the guy to
You did.
how
We
fun.
really did. We did do that too.
That's funny. That is actually a really good story. And I mean, so much went into this, but what was your favorite part of the production process? Or did you all have different favorite parts?
My favorite part of the production process was honestly writing with Ethel. We would go to like cute little like coffee dates. We would just be like, oh, what are we'd go to a coffee shop and just like write with each other and spitball ideas. And it was really nice to just be able to like, because obviously Ethel and I are very close friends. So like it was nice to be able to work with your friend and like have that really positive energy and environment and just like have fun while also remaining like super professional throughout all of it. That was definitely, I think, my favorite part of like everything, pre-production, production, post-production.
That's so
Yeah,
cool.
no, I definitely agree. Writing, and then I
You
think
don't have to say
just-
that was your same one, Ethel. You can say it was a different
yeah,
one.
that was my favorite part. Kidding. No, but I think pre-production and just kind of like planning, and we were all so excited the more we were like brainstorming and like booking locations and like realizing like these things were coming to fruition and just getting really excited to film and then finally being able to do it was very exciting.
Yeah, that's really cool. And then what about Sam, Tyler, and Ani? Do you have any favorite parts?
The beginning was definitely very exciting. I loved doing all the brainstorming and coming up with like ideas for locations and stuff. That was very cool. But of course, like I also loved the post-production part. I'm the editor, so I feel a little biased saying that. But I thought it was really fun learning all of the new VFX stuff, and like piecing it together was very much a puzzle, and it was just so rewarding to see it all come together at the end. So that was probably my favorite part.
Yeah, the actual production was my favorite part. Like I loved being on set and actually like filming these scenes because you know, I know it kind of all comes together in the editing, but I remember like kind of visualizing, kind of seeing it come together in my head, like as I was like, you know, looking through the monitor and like just seeing these wonderful shots that Ani came up with. And yeah.
Yeah, mine was also the principal photography production aspect. It was just so cool seeing everything come to life and seeing all the hard work from pre-production just jump off the pages. It was very, very special.
Yeah, no, that's so great to hear. And that's really why you can see how it all came together so well. And everyone really took their own parts, but you all worked together. So that's really nice to hear. And would you rather shoot all day or edit all day?
Well, I feel like I kind of answered that question for myself already. I would much rather shoot all day. Yeah, that's where like my passion truly lies.
Mhm.
I think I'm the only one who would rather edit all day.
Yeah, I think so too.
Editing.
I very much like the social aspect of production. If you're I will always choose a pre-production moment over anything. But if I had to choose between shooting and editing, I would definitely pick shooting.
Yeah, I think even from like my perspective as a TV and film student, I would do shooting all day because editing is so tedious. And Sam, I mean, credits to you for loving it so much and being one of the editors. I mean, without you, our favorite shows and movies wouldn't exist. But yeah, editings can be rough. Can you each, can you each describe Pseudea? No, wait, did I say that right? Pseudea. Oh my God.
There you go.
I'll be cutting that. You
No
describe
worries.
Pseudea in only one word each.
Deceiving.
I would have to say speculative.
Say like intriguing.
Sam?
Drama.
I guess it's literally the only thing I can think of. So I'm just gonna say it. I would just say gay. I think it's a pretty gay film.
I mean, that actually, for one of us is talking, I'm actually highlighting people of the LGBTQ community. And so I would love to highlight your film next week. If
Love
that's
that. Yeah, that'd be so great. I
yes,
love
would
getting
love to
recognition for
highlight
that.
it. Okay, awesome. But yeah, I mean, I loved even that storyline of like the characters falling in love. And it was actually like, it was really good, like a sapphic representation. And you guys did such a great job with that. And who is each one of your biggest inspirations in the entertainment field?
I think for me, it's currently Greta Gerwig. Well, I just like fumbled that word, all those words. But Greta Gerwig, she's just so beautiful of a director. I think growing up, I really started seeing her work come to fruition in high school, and having that kind of female representation in film and like being able to see like her stand out against like all these men that she's like nominated for awards with. It's just really nice to see how much of a presence she's able to have in the industry.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I would say someone like Reese Witherspoon, who she has a production company called Hello Sunshine. And basically it's all about like producing films that are like stories by women for women. And she has like books that she produces into TV shows and movies. So yeah, I think it's just important like highlighting women's stories.
Mhm. Definitely. And then Tyler?
Yeah, I have a couple. I mean, I don't know if you could. I'm wearing my video archives t-shirt right now, which is the Quentin Tarantino's podcast. So Tarantino's always been a big inspiration for me. Christopher Nolan and Denis Villeneuve. They've also like, I just love their films. I really love like science fiction, which actually just really goes along well with this film because our film is a science fiction film. But I will say one of the biggest, I don't know if you know this person, there's a YouTuber called Chris Stuckman. He got his start doing like movie reviews. He always did movie reviews on YouTube, but last year, I believe, this was I think last year, 2022, he actually got his chance to actually make his own film, and he got the funds through Kickstarter. He started a Kickstarter. A lot of his fans, including me, came out to support him. We donated, and it's going to be like, actually, it's going to be released in festivals this year.
Wow.
And he's got a big following on YouTube, but he's always wanted to do filmmaking, and now he's finally getting the chance to. And he's like from, I forget where he's from. He's like from state where you never hear filmmakers coming out. I think it might be like Ohio or something. I don't know. But like he's kind of like, he is also like proof that like anyone can do this. Like you know, if you work hard enough and you take enough time, anyone can make a film.
It's so true. Yeah, those are great ones. And then Sam and Ani, do you have any?
I guess one of the first people that I thought of was Tarantino as well. And then something else, because I can't really pinpoint like one because there's so many different aspects and filmmakers.
Yeah, even if
I-
it's just like a film or a TV
Yeah.
show that you look up to.
But another thing is music. I get really inspired by music, especially when coming up with it, like helps inspire ideas for films. So like I know with this one, I made a playlist and we collaborated on it and threw out some songs that kind of reminded us of the feeling of the film, and that helped kind of set the tone for like creating the film when it came time for principal photography. So yeah, music.
We were constantly listening to that playlist on set. We had it on repeat.
Oh, that's so cool. You'll have to share it with me. I have to see it. I'll have to like, I don't know. I'll do something with it and with the podcast because that's so cool to have one. I love when there's little things like that. And then,
And yeah, I definitely have to agree with Ani on the music stuff. Like I am also very like inspired and driven by music when it comes to film. Especially like when it's like timed to the music. I don't know. It just like that, I really love that kind of stuff. So any kind of films and TV shows that like do moments like that where the music just goes so well, like that's really inspiring to me in my own work.
yeah, I love music and TV and movies and kind of seeing how it all like you said, like timing it out. So that's really cool to hear because I like that too. So kind of going off that, are you more of a movie or a TV show person?
Movie.
I'm more of a TV show person. I watch a lot of TV, and I'm always like, whenever I'm going on, like, it's like one of those things where I go on the streaming service and I'm just like, oh, it's such a commitment to watch a movie. Let me just binge 5 or 7 episodes instead of like one show that I've already seen 14 times. So
Chelsea is the person I go
Yeah.
to for all of my TV show recommendations. Whenever I need something new to watch, I'm like, hey, Chelsea, what should I watch now? And she tells me. And I'm also a TV show person.
So Chelsea, what show should I watch now?
what show should you watch now? Ted Lasso. Always
Ted Lasso?
Ted Lasso's a great one. If you want something that's like short and sweet and it's like campy, Veronica Mars. If you like murder mysteries.
Perfect.
There you go.
And then favorite on-set snack.
We had those applesauce things. We had those squeezy applesauce things, and like after like a lot of hours, when you're like, oh, I just need something, and you would just like grab a little squeezy pack of applesauce. That was great. Loved it.
We also had we had a lot of Starbucks and a lot of Panera Bread on set.
Yes.
I feel like the Starbucks was probably needed. The caffeine was.
Oh yeah.
And can anyone recite the film's logline from memory?
Marty, an unemployed woman desperate for an income, gets hired at an agency called Mimic. On her first assignment as a mimicker, she forms an unexpected connection with the girlfriend of the man she is assigned to impersonate. Give or take some words.
I love
Give or
that.
take. Give or take.
Wonderful.
Better than
Yeah.
I could do it.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me. This was such a great episode, and I can't wait to get it out for everyone to see. And I can't wait to see what you all go on to do in the future. So thank you so much again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
It's
No.
so nice.
No problem. Anytime. Let me